I designed and created this wooden mod for the QiYi Clock, and I think it turned out pretty well. Here's how I made it. I started out by making the design in Inkscape. I didn't really have any measuring tools at the time, so I kind of estimated how large the design would have to be. And then later on I got access to a caliper and I used that to fine-tune my measurements. And I'm not really familiar with Inkscape or vector files, so it took me a while to actually design this. But once I figured it out, I laser cut my first attempt. It turned out pretty badly. My measurements weren't perfect, and there are a couple inaccuracies. The biggest one is probably the holes for the pins were a little bit too small, meaning that the pins would kind of rub against them and have a lot of friction. So I made a second design, where I increased the size of the pinholes and made a few other changes, but it still wasn't perfect. I did a few more attempts of trial and error, trying to gradually get the design closer and closer to being as good as possible. Eventually, on the 5th try, I got something that I was pretty happy with. So I cut out both sides using that design, and it worked pretty well. I also needed some wood pieces for the side of the clock. I designed these also in Inkscape, and then I cut them using 6mm wood. I think it turned out pretty well. There's a small gap, but I can't really do anything about that. After laser cutting all of the pieces that I needed, I removed the acrylic from the clock and replaced it with my wood, and I think it actually turned out pretty well. It's not perfect, but I think it looks pretty cool, and it still functions very well as a clock. This is what it looks like as the final product. That's it for this video. I'll just put like a solve here or something. Thanks for watching, and bye.